content.
2, 1.
Hey fans, I'm Ronald James Hoff Jr. You might remember me from such classics as Walking Out of a Movie or Groomsman in the hit movie Ted 2. Since this pandemic started, my manager has been saying,
"Now, Ron, there are so many actors out there that don't have access to everything you have."
I have everything except for one thing, making content. So people will hire me as an actor. Yay.
Welcome to yet another episode of Content. Of course, my name is Ronald James Hoff Jr., and this is the story of how I almost died. So, this was in my college years. I was with my ex-fiance. We never got married. And I was rehearsing for Sweeney Todd the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. I was playing Sweeney Todd. At the time, I had found this old Ford Escort for my ex. She only had two requirements. She wanted it to be purple, and she wanted it to be a 5-speed manual. So I found this car, and right around the same time, my Jetta, my lovely, lovely Jetta, died. Rest in peace. So I ended up having to drive this Ford, and it had a heater core leak that developed a couple months after we bought it. So to repair that heater core, you had to take the whole dash off to gain access to it. Usually your heater core is behind the glove box on pretty much all cars. But instead of having to just, take the glove box out and then gain access to the heater core, you had to take the whole dash off of this car. So, of course, I put it off. And because I've done that job before, and it's a whole day process, and it's also expensive if you pay someone to do it. So, anyways, I didn't do it, and it was leaking, and suddenly the car wouldn't start. During that time, I was a vocal performance major, so I was singing around 4 to 5 hours a day and then rehearsing 3 to 4 hours at night for this. So that meant that I didn't get out of rehearsal until like 11 o'clock at night or whatever. And I sent it to my mechanic that I've gone to ever since I was a kid. In fact, my dad used to sweep the floors of this shop, Zahner's. The best people, the best mechanics you could ever ask for. And the price isn't necessarily premium, but you absolutely get what you pay for. So I sent it to Zahner's and, brokering all of this over the phone. And they fixed the starter issue, and they asked about the heater core, and I said, not now, can't afford it. They said, it's ready to be picked up that night, and my ex drove me down to get it. I paid for it over the phone with a credit card, and I get the car, and it was like in the back of the shop. So I pulled around, and it was on like a side street, and then I was on the main drag, which was Maslin Road. And about 2 miles from there was the highway that we were going to get on. My ex was following me in her car, and go to pull out onto the main road, and I hear this like, electrical. And so this is a standard shift, so I had my left hand on the steering wheel, and I think I might have had it in gear even, because I just stopped, and I had my foot on the brake and my other foot on the clutch, depressed. And so I reached down to look under the glove box, because that's where I could see light and I could hear, electrical stuff. So I have my hand on the steering wheel, and I look down, and I'm extended, but like here's the steering wheel, and my face is like just on the outskirts of the steering wheel. And I look down, and I'm hearing it. Bang! The airbag on the steering wheel goes off, and it hits me in the side of the face. And the whole cabin, fills with smoke. Have you ever seen that scene in Saving Private Ryan where the guy is discombobulated, he's missing an arm, and he's looking around, and then he sees his arm and he picks it up and kind of walks? I was stunned. I don't remember if I shut the car off or if it was still running. I could have swore I had it in gear. I don't know. I just remember opening the car door and just seeing all the smoke billowing out. And I crawl to the back of the car and I sit back against the back bumper. And of course my sociopath ex, she just gets out of the car and just casually goes over and looks down at me. She's not like, oh my God, are you okay? No, it's just like, all right, what are we doing? Turn the car off and, write a little note, what the fuck, put it in the key off drop box and just leave the car right there. The thing about this is, like I said, I was only like a mile or two from the highway. If I would have just ignored that sound, by the time I got on the highway, the airbag could have gone off. And I don't know if you've ever seen how explosive airbags are. Yeah, I could have died, lost control, whatever. Because if I would have had like full face in front of the thing, Zaner's they were great about it. They took care of they didn't charge me for the initial repair, but I told them to take the passenger side airbag out because I didn't want that going off. And it turns out, this is one of the reasons why I will never buy a Ford again. The heater core is just above the airbag module. So the module that controls when the airbags go on and off, and with the sensors in the front and the sensors in the sides. Well, this is an older car, so just the sensors in the front and the module. So basically the water from the heater core had dripped down and got into the airbag module and caused a short, which is what made the airbag go off. So anyways, got rid of that car. Fast forward years later, I had the airbag still sitting, the passenger side airbag just sitting in my house after my ex left and all that fun stuff. And I was just about to move to California. I thought, what would be a cool thing to just set off this airbag? Because I've seen a bunch of videos of people putting like airbags in refrigerators and all that fun stuff. So I set off that airbag, and that created a tradition for setting off airbags. So every time I have a party, I will go to a junkyard and I'll buy some airbags. Now, it's technically illegal for you to put a used airbag inside of a car and use it for, the SRS supplementary restraint system. Most of the time airbags just go to waste, or the people that work in the junkyard, they set them off and have fun with them. So I will go to a junkyard and say, hey, I'd like to purchase 3 or 4 random airbags because I'm just going to be setting them off. Just be perfectly honest with them. And there's been several junkyards that will sell them to me. A lot of them won't, but there have been several that I've, in my experience, where I'll buy them and then I set them off. You can research it. Don't try this at home. You can use like a 9-volt battery, or you can just connect it to the airbag. There's only 2 wires usually, and you can just plug it into an AC outlet and it'll go off. It only takes like 0.1 millivolts for them to go off. So very, very easy. So anyways, that is the story of how I almost died. Thank you guys so much for all of the views on my videos for content, and I really appreciate it. And if you would like to see something fun that I haven't thought of, leave a comment. And again, thanks for watching, and please like and share. Until next time.